Okay, everybody, welcome to another episode of Spectacular. I am one of your hosts. Some people call me handsome. Most of those people are me in the mirror as I cry. And my name is Brandon, and I am joined today by...
Michael. I was gonna say my last name. I was like, nah.
Nah, we don't need to, they don't need to know that. They don't need to know that.
You haven't earned that.
They're gonna look you up.
Subscribe.
You
to
don't even have
OnlyFans.
social media anyway. Yeah, it's $9.99, not $10. So that way you and then there's
51% discount right now, guys.
there's no PPV, so everything is on my timeline
for the next 31 days.
And it's only for 7 subscribers. For the next,
The next 7.
Actually, Mike doesn't post videos on his Instagram and on his OnlyFans. It's just strictly photos of him also crying in the shower,
Fully clothed in the shower.
And
actually, I'm like Ryan Reynolds in the beginning of Nice Guys, which is in the suit in the water.
Three-piece suit, sweaty. No, not sweaty. You're just wet.
Just wet.
And, yeah.
Boozed up.
Yeah, I was gonna say alcoholic, clearly, and a disgusting mustache. No, he had a flavor saver and a mustache.
Yeah, he had a mustache.
Yeah.
And then
He didn't have the what's the one that goes all the way around?
Van Dyke? Goatee.
Is that a goatee? I thought the
so.
oh, you know what? Yeah,
I think
you're
the
right.
Van Dyke is that flavor saver with the goatee without the mustache.
Disgusting. That is so gross.
It's not a good look.
No. And today we are
None of which I can grow.
No. I can only when it comes to facial hair, I can grow a solid mustache, but when it comes to everywhere around it, it just gets a little spotty.
Oh yeah,
Like I can't.
Even my mustache gets it's not.
It's really
it
patchy. Like it's space. Even the middle spot, you have like an Bizarro Hitler.
All right, okay, you need to.
Okay, sorry. So anyway,
the villain in a kung fu movie.
we are Spectacular, and we discuss movies that essentially we like or we think that we will like. There hasn't been many movies that we've watched yet that neither of us have seen. I think Hot Rod was the only one so far that we hadn't actually seen. You hadn't seen it. I did.
Yeah.
But every other movie we talked about, we've each seen.
Mm-hmm.
And today we are discussing the movie Chinatown. Mike, why don't you tell us a little more about that movie, synopsis-wise, and who's in it, and any other important aspects of that movie.
Okay. Let's see. Chinatown from 1974, directed by Roman Polanski, starring Jack Nicholson, Faye Dunaway, John Huston, and the guy from Rocky. I forgot his name.
Paulie?
Paulie.
Yeah.
Call him Paulie.
Yeah, let's just call him Paulie. Yeah, Rocky. I don't know. That's not a good Rocky. That's more. What's his fucking coach's name?
Mickey.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He's an animal, Rock.
He almost made me blank. Like, oh my God, like I forget Mickey's name.
He's an animal. But
So
no.
Jack Nicholson plays Detective Jake.
I thought he was just a PI.
Oh yeah, I mixed him up.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. He's a PI. He's a private investigator, and his name is
JJ Gittes.
Gittes. And the guy kept saying like
Mr. Gitz.
Yeah,
John
like,
Huston.
Gittes.
So actually, one of the fun facts, they didn't mean for him to keep messing it up. That's why Jack Nicholson says in the movie, like, it's pronounced Giddies or Giddies. And then he just kept messing it up, so they kept leaving it in.
Yeah.
Which kind of fits with his
And he's
character.
old,
Yeah, he's
like,
old.
you know, whatever. And so this movie, who else is in it? I'm sorry, you said Faye Dunaway.
Faye Dunaway.
You got Paulie.
Paulie.
And then what was the other guy?
John Huston. He's the old guy.
Okay, he's the dad.
Legendary director, John Huston. So actually it makes sense because this is like a newer film noir movie, and he made like The Maltese Falcon, like classic film noir movies.
And so this movie was shot in the late 70s, but it's supposed to take place during the 30s.
73 to 74.
Okay. 73, it took him a year to film this?
Well, I mean, made it in 73, came out in 74. You know,
Okay,
whatever.
okay, yeah.
Set in 37.
Okay, so let's go over that synopsis again because we
talked right over.
got fucked up on the names.
So Jack is a private investigator,
Correct.
and he. Let's see, how do we describe it? I mean, probably should have pulled up a synopsis before.
You should have been ready. Okay, so what I'll say about this movie is basically, we don't have to say synopsis. Basically, Jack Nicholson's character is hired to initially investigate the water district's. You know what?
Hollis Mulray.
Hollis Mulray apparently cheating on his wife because as a private investigator, that's all you're gonna do is find cheaters, cheaters, or maybe like a lost love or something like that. So nothing. That's all your work is. You're just kind of
Ruining families.
yeah. Essentially, you're shooting photos of people cheating and getting banged. It's called Chinatown.
Honestly, I can't even think of what else private investigators would do.
Yeah,
Right?
They just find people. it's in There's Something About Mary. How they hired Matt Dillon.
Yeah.
And he was just a sleazeball, and yeah, he's talks shit on Mary's, and she's all overweight and stuff. So I'll just read the long synopsis that's on Google. When Los Angeles private eye Jake Gittes played by Jack Nicholson, is hired by Evelyn Mulray to investigate her husband's activities. He believes it's a routine infidelity case. Jake's investigation soon becomes anything but routine when he meets the real Miss Mulray. Mulray. I was gonna say Mulberry. Mulray, and realizes he was hired by an imposter. Mr. Mulray's sudden death sets Giddis on a tangled trail of corruption, deceit, and sinister family secrets as Evelyn's father, John Huston, becomes a suspect in the case.
Whoa!
I'm actually a good reader.
Yeah.
Like, I don't pronounce I don't pronounce words correctly all the time. Like, for the first time I was reading some words in a Divergent book, that the word that I was like, that's not a real word, was
Skullduggery?
no, I think it was actually even Divergent. I was like, that's not a real word. And there's another one too. I was like, this isn't fucking. I didn't read the series, but I just read a little bit, and I actually own all the books.
I don't want to brag.
Yeah, I'm not trying to flex or anything, but you guys can challenge me on any of my.
I got like thousands of words. It's no big deal.
I have a repertoire of vocabulary. And yeah, so this movie was shot in 1974. And as you had said, unfortunately, it was directed by Roman Polanski. We might as well just get that out of the way.
Yeah.
We could talk about
Well,
him.
so, I mean, let's just first of all say, I fucking love this movie so
This
much.
movie is
People love this movie. Everyone loves
and
this
there's a good
movie.
reason for it. It's a good movie.
It's astounding.
Yeah. And,
But, directed by, it gets a little dicey.
And really quick too. So Mike, what he does when he's getting ready to review a movie, he'll watch the movie first just to enjoy it, and then he'll watch it again for the note taking. While myself, being the impatient person that I am, I do it all at once, which I feel like that would be what not normal, but just like a normal person would do. But I do value that you would watch it twice. But I think that if I did your way, I would get bored the second time. Because I just watched it. I mean, I'm not saying you watch it and then once it's done playing, you watch it again. I'm sure there's some space in between so you can absorb it.
Well, it gives me time, one, to like absorb the movie. First, just enjoy it like any watcher.
Okay.
And the second time, while I'm watching it, if I see something, that's interesting, I can, look at my phone, look something up. While the movie's playing, I'm like,
well, what are you afraid you're going to miss? What is it like?
It's not about missing. It's about like taking the movie in.
Were you taking it deep inside you?
Taking it deep.
Okay. Well, then fine. I'll allow it. But
well, good, because I wasn't asking your permission.
good, because I'm going to let you do it and continue doing it. So
we agree?
so back to Polanski.
Right. Yeah.
it's a
So
great-
let me
great
set.
movie.
I'll set that for you.
Okay.
So it's 1969.
Uh-huh.
He's married to Sharon Tate. Right.
Poor woman.
She's pregnant. He goes to London to film something, shoot something like that. While he's in London, the Manson family gang goes into the house and murders her.
And the
fucking
friends.
right,
Was it
the
her
friends.
and a couple, like 3 people? or
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, a bunch of them.
something? Okay.
So I'm sure he came back for the funeral, leaves to Europe again because he just can't be in LA, right? Well, because it just reminds him of his wife. So this is the first movie he came back to do in America.
Okay. In America.
In America. Robert Evans wanted him to come make the movie. Robert Town wrote it. Boom. Loved it. Made it. 3 years later, he's shooting some, I guess, taking pictures of stuff for Vogue magazine. And the model is some 13-year-old girl. Let's see, how do we put this? Drugs and rapes the girl, it was, they were shooting at Jack Nicholson's house. I don't think he was there, but it's still kind of weird, but okay.
That's
whatever.
fucked.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fucked up.
Fucked like FUCKD.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So he gets arrested, I think he served like 83 days in jail or something like that.
Because he's white.
Because he's white. I think he has like 5 counts and he's fucked, right? Him and his attorneys, I guess they get a deal where, he served those days. He goes to like psychiatric treatment for like 90 days, I guess. When he comes back out, he'll get like time served in probation. Everyone agrees with it. So he's going to do that. So he goes, does the evaluation, gets out, is about to go to the sentencing. And I guess his attorney heard that the judge is going to be like, fuck this guy. I'm going to throw the book at him. I know I agree to this, but I'm going to get that motherfucker for like 50 years. So he's like, ruh-roh. So he hightails it to Europe, to France, where he can't be extradited.
Why did they not take his passport? Because he wasn't born here. So
I don't know. Well, he's rich. I don't know if he can get on a secret
was he
plane.
rich? I mean, I know he was a known director and stuff like that, but like,
He'd already made Rosemary's Baby, and
that movie sucked.
No, it did not.
Yes, it absolutely did.
It does not suck. Oh, we can do
We're
that
not going to
one.
review that movie.
We can fight that shit out with fisticuffs.
That movie
if it
I
comes
did
to
not
it.
enjoy it because to be fair, when I watched that movie, what was I doing? I wasn't enjoying it.
Masturbating.
But well, clearly I have to. There's nudity in the movie. Like, what else are you supposed to do if there's titties
There's like
out?
a half a boob.
That's
in it.
enough to make me erupt like a volcano.
Is there old lady boobs in that too?
Hopefully not like The Shining, like old lady saggy
Yeah.
tit, like egg over a nail hanging down. Like,
I
that's
mean, you might cut this out, but I think we're doing Hereditary next, and there's old
We
lady
are doing
boobs in that.
But Polanski.
So so anyway, he hightails out of here, and then he hasn't been back to America since. I think he got arrested in like Switzerland because they're trying to get him back to America.
Yeah, I thought he did get arrested, so he's not. He
did again.
Okay.
He might be. I didn't pay that much attention, but he might be out again because he's old or something like that. So I don't know.
Yeah, and if you had listened to a previous episode, I don't remember which one we discussed this kind of stuff, but like, I am sort of against, like, because some people are like, oh, once the person does something bad, everything they ever did prior to, it's gone. Like, and I don't think that's exactly fair because, granted, yes, the person's a piece of shit, but like the movies they did or whatever they did could have been great. Like, for example, Roman Polanski. I mean, yes, what he did
Think
was
of somebody I don't know off the top of my head. Let's see. I don't know. Roman Polanski.
let me just, it's coming out, it's just out of left field. But obviously Chinatown is a movie well liked by me, you, probably millions of people.
Well, I think I'm being selfish because I can be.
Well,
Like, I'm not gonna let that asshole
yeah,
make me not enjoy his shit
yeah,
because they're pieces of shit.
exactly.
Not only that, like, I mean, God, jeez, they got half the bands in the, well, I don't know, 90% of the bands in the 70s that have, 15-year-old groupies in the party bus or whatever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if I'm going to cut somebody out, I'm going to cut, everyone out.
Sure.
I'm not going to deny myself the enjoyment because they're assholes.
And like one of the
not my
examples
fault.
I had used was Kevin Spacey when we talked about it before, just briefly, was like, I love Usual Suspects. And he was magnificent in that movie. But yet, obviously, he's not very well liked currently with what has happened with him. And like people accusing him of sexual assault and stuff like that. So there's just an anatomy, and I don't know where the fuck that came from. Anyway.
Well, also, like the stuff with Polanski, so many years had passed too, and then some people started to come to his, speak on his behalf.
Right.
But then after all the Me Too, then like I think like 5 other ladies came out and said like he had abused them back in the day too. Like so.
Oh, so recently.
Yeah, fairly recently.
But like, yeah, it's just he's an all around problematic man. I think is what we're trying to establish. And did you speaking about getting away with things? Did you read about that guy? It was on Reddit. It was Today I Learned, and I don't remember the guy's name, but he attempted to rob an armored truck and he got caught, and he went to jail. And while in jail, he became this like very good poet and very popular poet. So other authors and other they petitioned to get him out because he's this he's doing this, he's well liked, and so he got out, and then he robbed another armor truck and actually succeeded, got $3 million, and he is still on the run.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't remember when it said this was, but it was, I believe, semi-recent, not like within the last 5 years, I don't think, but like still in our lifetime that this
Maybe
had
it's
happened.
just me, but I can almost applaud heisters, non-violent, late night,
Don't
drilling
kill
through
anybody. Yeah, just
the armed robbers. I'm like, okay, you're just threatening people and their
yeah, that's
families
easy.
and
Anybody can point a gun at someone and say, "Hey,
kill someone's
give me your
parent."
money."
Yeah.
We have a guy waiting outside your parents' house. If you don't do what I say, they're fucking
Oh yeah,
dead.
that's even worse.
Yeah, but to get it, that takes a lot.
But
to
I mean,
get
if you're just rappelling from the ceiling on a rope
Yeah.
and floating above and
Mission Impossible, that
spraying,
shit,
powder so you can see the laser beams.
make some kind of freon, so
Yeah.
that way you can the fucking safe mechanisms.
More
freeze.
power to you. I
Yeah.
mean,
It takes a lot of
maybe
planning.
you should be using your skills to help in other ways. But hey,
Who wants to work for the government?
hey man, you find what you love. You never work a day in your life.
No. So I think what we're trying to establish here is Roman Polanski is gross.
Dicey at best,
Uh-huh.
but he makes a hell of a movie.
He has made a hell of a movie. Although, again, I don't agree with Rosemary's Baby, but hey, it's water under the bridge. So something that first came to my mind when watching this, because it happens within the first, 8 seconds, is seeing the credits first in the movie.
It's very old timey. Well,
Right.
that whole credits. It's funny enough. This is supposed to be kind of like a new noir movie, but those credits look like movie from the 1920s.
I mean,
like
by the
super duper
yeah,
old.
by the 70s, we had the technology to do things like that.
Trying to think when that switched though. Like what year that switched from full credits at the beginning of the movie to the end.
Well, wasn't that what they used to do with trailers? Trailers used to be at the end of the movie because they trail the movie, but then they started putting trailers in the beginning because nobody stayed around for the trailers.
Okay.
So they put them in the front so people would see that, but then people started to like it.
Well, how old are we talking? Because remember they used to have like serials before the movie, newsreel footage, and like, but that's like a long, long time ago before TV.
This just in, and, yeah. I don't know that information.
The Allies invade Normandy.
Yeah, we won. We dropped the bomb on Hiroshima, and we won. Huh? I don't know why they're talking from the 20s and the 40s, but you got flappers in the background.
Those are like 25 years apart.
That's what I'm saying. Why do they sound like they're from the 20s when we're talking about World War II?
They still use the radio voice a bit.
Yeah, no, they did not. They weren't like, this just in, Mike Vera's a loser. Like they weren't doing that, but they.
I think they were. Let's watch.
I think you're a liar.
Everyone pause it.
Okay.
Go to YouTube. Look up some old timey newsreel footage.
Type that exact words. Old timey news footage.
Old-timey.
Has to be black and white. It doesn't count. But I did actually like that aspect because I haven't seen this movie in a long time, but not remembering the credits are in the beginning, and so it's kind of like okay, because I know at this time they weren't doing this, and so it was kind of like, oh okay, because I know it's supposed to take place in the 30s. So,
37. Yeah.
And so yeah, they were definitely doing it back then, but back then it would have been also black and white because I don't think color came around until 40s.
Oh my God, I forgot what year Wizard of Oz came out.
That's valid. And again, I thought, did you know they use asbestos for the snow?
Yeah.
Ugh, those poor fucking people.
Everything just in the back then just seems miserable.
Well, not even that. It's just like at the time
Like
they don't
Tin
fucking
Man's
know.
like his fucking
The
skin
painted
was...
on. Yeah, he's getting like lead poisoning and shit.
Can't breathe in this.
Let's see. When was color film?
Because I want to say that's 37. Wizard of Oz came out.
1940.
Damn it.
It's around. So they were introduced around 1940.
Oh.
But only came into wide use for commercial motion pictures in the early 50s.
Okay.
Okay, so it's not bad. Yeah. So again, 30s, this would have been black and white for sure. But this movie also seemed like it was shot because this was 70s, so this was widescreen. This wasn't what's it called?
Anamorphic?
Thank you, because I don't think they had that back then. But this was definitely a widescreen.
Wait,
movie.
what? Yeah, of course they did.
Did they?
Fucking like the John Ford fucking westerns. Fucking.
How did they strip? Okay, that doesn't matter. So something that I also enjoyed in this movie is just the humor in this movie. Like I think I had talked to you about it.
1939. Wizard of Oz came out. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, so it's right there. But there is a good amount of humor in this too, and it just reminds me that Jack is a pretty versatile actor because he could do comedy, he could do action, and he was in Batman. Departed. Would you say Departed's action or drama?
That's a drama.
Okay, I could see him still in an action movie.
It's a crime drama.
Yeah, yeah. There was that scene where Leo.
I wouldn't say action. I wouldn't say, but not that he couldn't do it. But I don't. I can't
Right,
think
there's
of anything where he
guns.
did it.
Okay, that scene where Leo in The Departed, when Jack snuck up behind him, was that scripted?
Oh, I don't know.
I thought I had read somewhere that scene, that part where he like sneaks back in, was not part of the movie. And did you know that in Godfather, when now that we're talking about behind the scene, James Caan at the beginning of Godfather at the wedding, when he knocked the camera out of the guy's hand and he threw a couple bills on the ground, that was also unscripted. He just did it. He wasn't supposed to break that camera, but he just did it, and then threw the money down. And
Francis Ford
Coppola liked it, so he just kept it. I could prove that.
That shit's like 40 minutes long. That wedding.
The wedding,
whole
yeah.
sequence.
Like when he's introducing.
Maybe not that long, but yeah, it's a long. Well, the movie's long, but it's fun that it's
long, but worth it.
Oh yeah,
well
absolutely.
worth it. Yeah, we should eventually do that, but I don't know if anywhere's showing Godfather.
It doesn't matter.
Okay,
it's playing everywhere. Playing in my heart.
So, James Hong's in this movie, and he was like the butler for Faye Dunaway. That motherfucker's been around for so long. Like,
oh yeah,
like I wrote here Balls of Fury because I really love that movie. Like it still to this day. Like Dan Fogler. He was in The Fantastic Beasts. And you're sure, I fucking love that guy. He was in I need to stop snapping. He was in he is in The Goldbergs. Like he's the dad's brother. He's lost a lot of weight too, but that Balls of Fury is great. But James Hong is in that. I'm like, how old is this guy? Like he's got to be in his 80s at least, because Jack's in his 80s, and I mean, hopefully still chugging along like strong like a bull. But yeah, James Hong, he had that small part, but he's just had to been acting in Hollywood for the last 50 fucking years. And I mean, more power to him. But there is that throughout the movie though. I realized obviously again this is supposed to take place at a certain time frame, but just the way that they treated like the the butler and the maid and like even the gardener, just the way they're
The Asian
talking to
characters,
Asian
yeah.
people. Yeah, it's just God. I was like, this bums me out, but at the same time, I know that it's supposed to be in that era and
Right.
everything. But
Well, not only that, I mean, he worked in Chinatown.
yeah.
So
They talk about that in the
yeah.
movie. Yeah, because he worked for the DA, I believe, is what
Is that what he
Jack's
said?
character. Yeah, because there's a point when I wrote a note like, how does he know the cops? And I was like, because they haven't talked about anything yet. And then a little bit later, he said he used to work when he after he smashed guts with Faye, that she asked, and he's like, oh, I worked for the DA. And then my thought
Like,
is,
I
well,
want to say like he had to have been a cop too and like worked the beat in
that's
Chinatown.
what I would
I'm
that's what I would
assuming, too.
think. But then if you're working for the DA, you can still be like a
I mean, saying like before, he
Right.
used to work, yeah.
and that's the thing. He could have just worked close in hand with other police, but they never. I don't think they ever really establish what he did. But besides work for the DA, I mean, because you could work for the district attorney and just be one of their PIs, a spy, like or not spy, but just someone to just investigate for them, bring back all the details of like, hey, go follow Mike for the next couple of weeks and see what he's doing.
I don't know.
I'll
He
give
sounded like he used to be a cop, but whatever.
Oh, well, they don't establish it, so.
Except your apology.
Yeah, something else besides, the very mistreatment of Asian people was the fact that this takes place in Los Angeles, but yet every single person is wearing a 3-piece suit at least 90% of this movie. Like, and I'm certain they were not shooting that stuff wasn't made out of cotton back then, so they had to have been hot as fuck filming this movie. And I know there's a couple scenes where you could see the sweat because like the quality of this movie look really sharp. I know you said when you had watched it that you didn't think it looked as good on my TV. I don't know if did you think it was
That's true.
because
Yeah.
you watched it on something else, didn't you?
Well, I watched it on my TV.
I know, but I mean, did you watch it on Netflix?
Yes.
Okay, well, so did I. So then how did mine? Okay, maybe
I
your
don't know.
TV is just better. Whatever.
It might have come in where your internet was slow for like 10 seconds and it dropped it down to fucking 480. or
Why
whatever.
do
I
you
don't
gotta talk shit on Google Fiber? Because our sponsor for today is Google Fiber,
Yay.
brought to you by Google. Did you want fast internet, Mike? Well, too bad, because you can only get it in a home where Google Fiber is offered. Offered is offered. I'm drunk, but everybody's wearing 3-piece suits. Even the women, they're wearing shit that's got to be made out of polyester. Like, I don't think I could have managed in that time because I get hot quick and I get sweaty. But to me, that's a sign of health because that means I drink a lot of liquid. I think like water or boba.
You're hydrated.
Yeah, and so I'm just
Bubba's healthy. Last time I checked.
yeah, it's very healthy for you.
Don't anyone tell me
That's why I
otherwise.
just love the balls in my mouth. But it's I feel like I just sweat a lot. And I mean, did we talk about that time? Yeah, we did briefly talk about that time at Active when I got sweaty on the back.
Oh yeah, your mystery sweat.
That's not a mystery. Like it was nerves. I got just nervous. And
Of what?
I don't know.
Oh, it's like
I
a
think it was-
panic attack.
Yeah, I think no, I don't know about that, but I think it was just because the woman that was there kept looking at me, and I was trying to grip the board, and I was like, wait, does she think she could do this better than me?
Judging you?
Yeah, like am I doing a bad grip job? So like when I was even using the razor to cut the grip tape, like it was just I was going slow, being exact, but I could just feel the sweat going down my back, hitting my waist. I'm like, oh, my boxer's gotta be drenched right now. And I'm glad that so Mike drove us. So we were at the Irvine Spectrum at the Active there. There's no more. Ooh, wait, I don't think the Active's there. I think all the Active's closed. But I was buying a skateboard. I needed it. I used to ride girl skateboards all the time. But anyway, my back was just drenched. Like think I just ran 2 miles in a heated room. Like just disgusting.
You're cutting weight.
Yeah. Yeah. And Mike luckily had an extra sweater in his truck. So I went outside and sat at the bench right outside Active so nobody'd see my back. And I just leaned across it. But I tried to arch my back in a way that like wind would still hit. So I'd kind of like pull away like if I was doing weights. Like I was doing chest and I'm on the bench. So you have your back bent. So that way you're just putting all the... Anyway, so Mike went and got the sweater. I put it on. I was a little embarrassed. But with Mike's sweater, nobody can see. But I guess you could say it was a panic attack, but I don't think it was.
I mean, what else would you call it? You know,
A sweat attack?
Yeah, because you're panicky.
I see. I don't know because if that's a panic attack, then I've had
panicking a bit. No, some type of attack. We'll call it the nerves of
sweat.
shame.
Yeah, because then that would mean I've had many panic attacks in my life.
Yeah,
And
it's cool.
I know there's nothing wrong in it.
I was in school and we had to read like tons of policies.
About what?
Just all of our
Is
shit.
this La Habra?
No, when work
Oh,
class.
okay.
But like we get to class, it's a new class, and then it's like, hey, Mike, you want to start reading? Like, sure. And I start reading. Like, oh my god, I'm panicking a little bit. Oh god,
Yeah.
I need some water.
Yeah. Does anybody have any water? I'm so parched.
Want to take over me?
Popcorn.
But
Jason.
you just need time, and then we did like all class, or just kept reading it over and over, and then by that
Sounds
time I
like
was
a
like,
boring class. Is this class of policies 101?
yeah,
Okay.
Politics
Well, that
101.
sounds like the fucking worst.
Well, we had, we have like 30 pages to get through, so I'm just, by the end I was reading it fast.
Oh, I thought you were just playing music really quick.
Just me.
16
16-bit, just music.
Yeah.
32-bit? Okay, let's go.
I think it's 8-bit.
There you go, 8-bit, sorry.
But the other thing about the suits really quick, though, is that when Jack... what's his name in this movie?
Did you get us?
Gittes. When you first meet him and he's with his first case, which is Polly from Rocky, Polly's wife was cheating on him. But the photos that he has of the wife getting banged by this dude is the dude's wearing a suit as he's banging her in public. And the shots that he has of this, he's like,
they're like
2 feet
clothed,
away.
yeah.
Yeah. She just lifted up her dress or whatever and she's getting plowed. But again, he's like from me to you, and Mike and I are sitting on a couch together and we're like 2 feet apart. And that's pretty much as close as Jack was, and yet they didn't see him? Like, what the fuck? Anyway, that's got
If
to...
you look in the corner of his office, there's like a Bush costume where he's just...
It's a ghillie suit. He's just walking around, but he still has his fucking hat on top because, he's a gentleman. And
it's an old-timey camera where he has to hold the... the powder flashes.
Stay still for 4 minutes, folks. And then, again, I don't know why he's fucking like old-timey. But I don't know how people could have done that, man. Like, again, if living back then, I couldn't do it. I would have to just wear the white beater every day. Like, it's just the tank.
Oh, you mean like an old school cholo?
Yeah, with some khakis.
Hell yeah.
Yep, tucked in the white beater. But also speaking of Paulie, which I don't remember his real name in the movie or in real life, but seeing him made me want to watch Rocky. And
We can do. I fucking love that movie too.
all of them, or just the first one?
I love 1.
One,
2's okay. 3's fun.
4 is the best.
4, I love 4, and then
4's the
5
best.
just falls off the face.
And then 6. What about 6? Actually, technically, do you consider Creed 6?
No, there was the Rocky Balboa one.
Oh, you're
He's
right.
old and he
and you're right. It was what happened was the video game, right? Like and so then it's like, okay, let's see what Rocky does.
beat up that old man.
And then Rocky technically had him, but he let the kid clinch, I believe is what it was. It was like near the end of the round, like final 5 seconds. He had fucked that kid up and the kid was about to collapse.
Is that what happens?
But Rocky clinched and so held him up.
So he wins the decision.
Yeah. So, well, not only that, but so the kid wouldn't be embarrassed and because he lost to 70-year-old Rocky.
Has it been that long? I don't remember that at all.
Yeah. But no,
Burt Young.
Rocky 4 is by far... Well, Rocky 1 is the best, but then Rocky 4 is the second best because he fights the Russian.
Yeah.
Can you do a Russian accent?
With these. Hello.
Okay, that's 3 words. 4.
But it's good, no? Yes?
I feel like my Russian accent...
Let's see. Chinatown set in 1937. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's actually quite... Can you do British?
It depends if I'm drunk enough.
I don't think I've actually really been around you drunk.
You better wait. It's coming.
Is it coming up for my birthday?
Sure.
Okay. You got
It's
it,
February,
Buckaroo. Yeah, July 23rd, everybody. It'll be out, actually. This episode's coming out the weekend of my birthday. This comes out next week. So, I planned it that way. And, but I make you want to watch Rocky. So, we got to put on, we're watching Hereditary next. And
maybe Rocky after that.
It doesn't
matter. It's fine.
Didn't we talk about like Looper too? No, we can't do 2 time travel things in a short amount of time.
It's like a thing.
But yeah, we could do a Ryan Johnson movie. Oh no, you didn't want to do Brick.
No.
Yeah, and
although I'd imagine it was highly influenced by this
because it's a detective story.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that.
A lot of fast talking.
Yeah, and those fast talking. Some of the lines that Jack said were great, and I think Faye even had a couple little one-liners. Like, all right, I'm down for that. But to be frank, I don't know if I've seen a lot of movies with Faye Dunaway. I know she's a very well-loved actress, and she's done many movies, but can you name 2 other ones right now? Then I can see if I can see those.
Bonnie and Clyde.
Yes, okay.
Okay.
And that's with, I know it. It's Betty. Bettany?
Warren Beatty.
Warren Beatty. That's close. I was there. I was right there. And anything else?
Mommy Dearest.
What the fuck is that?
Where she plays Joan Crawford, the crazy actress.
Which one's the mom where the mom's a serial? Is that Serial Mom? Where the mom
Yeah,
kills?
it's Kathleen Turner though.
Okay. I think I saw that in theaters, and I was like, "Why? Who the fuck took?" It had to have been my dad. But like, why am I watching this? Because she's like murdering,
Yeah,
like
I think
just.
it's a John Waters movie.
Oh, okay, okay, I can see that, and that's Hairspray, right? John Waters Hairspray.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So another aspect of the movie.
Like, look up photos of Faye Dunaway in Bonnie and Clyde. She's the most beautiful girl you've ever seen in your entire life. Legit. I think it has to do with the outfits too. You seem to be a fan of outfits.
I greatly
costuming.
I greatly like costumes. I greatly like wardrobes and stuff like that. I can appreciate it.
Because she wears like the little hats to the side, the blonde hair,
Sure.
the dress.
And what at that time she was 30s, maybe.
She's probably 25 or something like that. I don't know.
Well, 25.
I mean, that only
different.
what was that? It might have been 10 years before this. I don't remember exactly, but
Hey, yeah, don't spoil it. But do they die in the end?
they get out of that car, all right?
They're
Cool.
They make it through
All
that,
the shots
that
and they
ambush.
just sticks his hand out. All right.
Yeah, the car's
Wake him up.
literally, you can see in the car through all the holes.
Oh, you
Hey,
see
we're
his
cool, right?
sunlight through it.
Yeah,
With blood dripping down. All right. Here's a white handkerchief.
yeah. Are they cool, Chief? Are they dead? And they just stand out. There was a lot of points in this movie where everything was in focus, and there's something about that weirds me out, but also I like it. Like, because a lot of times movies, I like a soft focus if we're just supposed to focus on the one person, right? But it seemed like many instances, like everything, like outside especially, just because I don't know if they had ND filters in the 70s to lower your stops, but like there's many times where I was like, this is sweet, but realizing that, oh, they just have a fucking very tight focus, and but like everything in the frame, like there's a part specifically that I wrote where Jack had was pulling up on his chair, like pulling towards the camera, and not only was he in focus, but so was the dude behind him. I was like, how the fuck? But they also did that trick shot where they have the one guy in, like, it was when they were in the town hall meeting, and Gittes was listening to Mulray do his little speech, like, I'm not gonna do it. Right. Yeah, I'm not gonna do it. They did that trick where he's in focus and there's that little blur, and then they had him in focus. And I thought, why did they do that if the previous scene they just did it, but not realizing
it was too far.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. There was probably too big of a gap. But there's something about that shot where it has that blur. I don't like it. There's something that just takes me out of it, because I think visually I should know these two things should not be in focus. But to be frank,
it's a very movie trick. Like, know right away.
Right. And but I don't even know how to do it. Like, I feel like you have to shoot separately, or you have something. I don't know. All I know is that the only thing I ever want to do in filmmaking is a dolly pull. No, not dolly pull. A like they did in Jaws.
Dolly zoom.
Yeah, dolly zoom. I gotta make that work somehow in something. I just want to do it. I love the way that looks.
I thought you want to do like a 10-minute
I would love to do a oneer. I would fucking love to do a oneer, but that's not necessarily a camera trick. That's just like, hey, we press record. Here we go. But I don't think
super complex too.
Yeah,
like,
I'm
the
not
more complex the better.
Did you see the one that they did for the Netflix show, the House on Haunted Hill or whatever? The way that they did this long, it was like maybe a 6-minute oneer, and they had like anytime obviously nobody was on in the scene, they had the people in the background adjusting stuff, changing the room, like all this shit. I'm like, fuck, that had, and I think it's a couple weeks to plan.
Did you watch True Detective?
Yes, I've seen all the seasons. Which one?
First season with McConaughey, where he does the steals from the drug dealers, and he's running through the projects.
Oh, yeah.
That's like 6 minutes.
That was when he was undercover.
Yeah, undercover.
And he had to do some drugs and stuff like that. Actually, you're right. It was going through the whole neighborhood and stuff, and then he gets the guy.
And everyone freaks out because at the end, he's taking the dude, and they jump the fence, and the camera goes over the fence and then down and keeps going. Like, how do they do that? Yeah.
They had to...
So the guy had to like sit on a...
No, they could have connected it to a jib. Like, they could have a jib out of frame, and then as they're following with the glide camera or something, they can connect it to it. As they're bringing it over, someone can run from the other side of the fence and grab it.
Kind of like someone just running up and sitting on a little chair and going over and then getting up from the chair.
Yeah. There was another movie that they did. It was like they're at a camp, and it was recent. It was on Netflix, and I don't remember. There was kids in it, and the one kid was it doesn't matter. But like the camera pulls in on a high jib. It's like 40 feet up and just comes down.
Well, actually,
it disconnects.
Sorry, go ahead.
It disconnects, and the camera operator takes it, and they're doing the shot, and they even move it through a vehicle. I think he was on the Eric Andre show. the other comic,
Hannibal Buress.
Hannibal Buress. He was in the movie. He was one of the counselors or something like that. And as the camera's going through the car, because you see the kids going in at the same time, I was like, this shot is so beautifully planned out. Everything looked good and sharp. Everyone was on their mark. But then I thought they probably did this take like 20, 30 times. But yet to get that one shot that probably nobody's going to really fucking care that, hey, there's no cuts in that. But you and I, and probably 3 other people in the world, would notice those kind of things.
Well, you remember the Raid 2, right?
Mm-hmm. That was like an 8-minute fucking... And he's going up the stairs.
Well, no, not part 2.
Okay.
So there's the part where I guess there's like a shootout while they're driving, right? So the camera goes through a car and out the other side of the car, and it's the same shot the whole time. So if you look closely, you can go on YouTube, you can watch it. The cameraman is dressed as a chair, as like the passenger seat.
Okay.
So you see him, like if you're just watching, you don't know to look for it. You wouldn't notice, but if you look, you can see the chair looks kind of weird because the camera goes through the car while it's moving, I think. And then once it passes him, he gets up from being in a chair and he holds the camera and then continues the shot through it. Super. And then I think I had to watch like a behind the scenes or something. I'm like, ooh, that's
because
fun.
you might not catch it the first view and see.
Of course I didn't. Yeah, no one would. But
you're in the heat of
when
it.
you watch it and you're like, oh, there he is. You can see, you're like, hey, it's a dude in a chair seat.
Yeah. Once you put, and you're like, how did I not see that the first time?
Looks like a Minecraft character.
Yeah, it's obvious. Yeah. So it's. I mean,
well, we mentioned that because there's a lot of wonders in this movie.
Yeah. I think I had pointed that out too.
You had mentioned it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I have my note here that says it, but I think when you had came by and we are gonna initially, Mike and I were gonna do this last week, sort of, but we're testing this new mixer that we got, and
we don't know what the fuck we're doing.
Well, we don't. We're not good with audio, so we're just testing it. But then we had the return mics that Mike bought because they were just shit. Nothing against Rode because we're technically using Rode mics right now. But the Rode pod mic, we just could
Why do you
not.
have to bad mouth stuff?
Fucking who gives a fuck? So if someone else listens to it, they might not consider getting it. But that thing is difficult.
Either we were missing something, or I don't know what was happening.
We can't make mistakes. I don't know. That's why I always write in pen, so I don't make mistakes. But
I use pretzels, but I bite the erasers off and spit them in the trash can. Don't need you, motherfucker.
Yeah. And Jack Nicholson, love him, great actor. He was already losing his hair by the time this movie was coming out, like thinning.
It's funny. The movie is set in 1937. He was born in 1937. 40, 50, 60. So he's 37 years old. Yeah.
That's your and my age pretty much. And we have full heads of hair.
Yeah, but I have friends who are about our age and they're losing tons of hair.
Actually, yeah, my friend, who I greatly adore, he is balding, and I think he just shaves his head now. Yeah. But like, actually, I have a few friends. Yeah, I have a few friends that do that too.
You can lose your hair in your 30s. I think my dad you did.
Did he?
Kind of.
Mr. V?
Mr. V.
Okay. Mike's last name doesn't start with a V. We just call him Mr. V because he's fucking. It's cool. So.
I'm sorry. So the very end of the movie, it's following them as they're walking down the street, and whenever the camera goes boop, up, and I'm just saying, there's a lot of movement.
You can see jitters sometimes too as they're doing those wonders, and there was a time when Giddis first gets to the ditch when they, spoiler alert, find Hollis's body. That the cameraman is in front of Giddis and the other actors as they're walking, so the cameraman's in front, so it's a little difficult. He has to be probably guided where he's walking. But there's a time where they go past the camera to screen right, and you see like a shake because either they handed it off. I don't know if they had steady cams back then.
No, there was a ton of handheld in this movie too.
No, I know. But like there was a good amount of shakiness in it to it. So that's why I don't think they had steady cams or glide cams or anything back then. Like they...
Well, no, I don't think they came out to the 80s.
Really?
Stanley Kubrick used it a lot in like The Shining.
But I thought even in Evil Dead, they got a 2x4 and they drilled the camera mount on that, so that way that's how they did the shot of like the evil coming to the cabin. Yeah. So I mean, we've done that in movies. Something as easy as that, just to keep it relatively.
Yeah, but they didn't have they had
the weights,
tracks and stuff like that. And they'd have to build with the actual handheld, the actual.
Yeah, that's all. There's no image stabilization. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't think they could do that in post. Actually, I don't know if there was never even the idea of we'll just fix it in post back then, because I mean you're shooting on film, like you got to get that shit right. So there is a point in the movie where I was kind of like, well, what the fuck? How did when Giddis first started following Hollis, and Hollis goes to the ditch for the first time, Jack was there first. How did he know he was going there? Because remember, he's waiting on the side,
On
just
the
watching
bridge?
him. Yeah, he's watching him from a distance, and then Hollis
Well, I
pulls
mean,
in.
he might be at the bridge and sees him start to go down. So Jack's just walking, and then because it takes a while to
I
walk
don't
through the
know.
middle. He's in the middle of like the Los Angeles River.
Yeah, but you see him drive down there first. You don't just see him walk. I don't like it. I don't like the movie anymore. There's too many loopholes now that I really think about it, and
Calls
it's
this the
just not
greatest
good.
script ever written. My ass.
Yeah, yeah. And also, while he's following him, he's supposed to like be this pretty good PI, but yet he's getting like a car length away from Hollis as he's driving. And well, I'm not. To be fair, while I drive, I'm not as alert as I could be to know if someone's following me. But at the same time, I feel like I would, if I see the same guy behind me for, I don't know, a couple of hours, I'd be a little concerned. But granted, all those cars back then were only black.
I did like the technique he used to know when a car left.
The stopwatch.
With the
That was pretty
pocket
tight.
watches. Yeah.
Yeah. So like he puts the, I think one on one side, it was just keeps going, and the other on the other side would obviously brake when it runs
Well, I think
over.
it's just if you either back up out of the spot or drive forward. It just either way,
Yeah, but I thought he would also know based on when the thing stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying you have one on either side of the tire, so like you put one behind the tire, but the guy just pulls forward, then you're shit out of luck. But you put one on either side.
He's still there. Well, obviously his car wouldn't be there. Those two guys too, his assistants. I feel like one of them I recognize, the bigger, stouter, not the guy with the glasses, the other one.
The guy who says, "Forget it, Jake. This time it's Chinatown."
Yeah. No, I thought the smaller guy said that. Forget it, Jake. It's Chinatown. Like I thought that was a smaller guy.
Oh,
The
okay.
bigger guy was the one that was.
Oh, I thought you meant bigger as in wide or not. Tall.
Yeah. Like he wore the dark suits. The skinnier guy wore glasses. He was balding.
Okay, whatever.
Okay, well, pay attention more.
Sorry.
How about that? What is there anything that you like? You have a bunch of notes just like I do. Anything that stood out to you that?
Nope, we're good.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna okay.
No. So I mean, we didn't really go over it that much. So written by Robert Towne.
Okay.
I think somebody. It might have been Robert Evans. He was the head of Paramount for like 8 years, and then I think he just left the job to finally just wanted to like hands-on produce a movie. I think this is his first movie hands-on producing once he got out. So
Good for him.
had the script from Robert Towne. Everyone loved it. I think it was before they had that blacklist or whatever, where it's like the best.
Yeah.
Anyway, but
Yeah.
everyone loved the script. So then he had Jack in mind. Robert Evans wanted to produce, and then they got Roman Polanski to come back to America
In America.
to make the movie, and then I love it so
No, it's great. You had so Mike watched it before I did. Well, rewatched it, I guess you could say, and he had texted me just saying this movie's so fucking good. And again, I do not disagree at all because this is probably, if I had to think of a detective movie that I would like to refer to somebody, it's either this or Brick. I don't know why I like Brick so much. It's good. I like it, but it's just, yeah, this movie is by far still in my top 10 of all movies.
Yeah, I think it took, at least for me, it took a couple watches to see all the little clues.
Yeah,
Because Jackson, every goddamn scene.
pretty much. Yeah.
I think not pretty much. I think he actually is.
I don't know.
So it unfolds with him. It's like you learn all the little bits and all the little pieces.
As
When he goes to
he-
the office, he's like,
yeah.
"Oh, Hollis and oh my god, I forgot his name.
Mulder?
Noah Cross. Oh, they own the water company before." When he's talking to
He's talking about his secretary. She's just fucking annoyed with him and
Everyone hates him.
Yeah.
Like that secretary hates him. The guy at the county records hates him. When
shit.
he's
Yeah,
trying
he had no fucking reason that he was like,
That guy was
"Sir,
just a douche."
ruler. What do you?" Well, there was a part where somebody talks to
farmers hated him.
somebody talks to that guy, the guy that works in the clerk's office, and I was like, "Oh, what does he know?" Because it seems like they were talking about Giddis, but I don't know. Maybe they were just talking. Maybe I don't know. So, what was that slit on the back of Jack's jacket?
What's that?
There's always a little slit in the middle.
I think it's just shoulder room.
Oh, okay.
Might have
So it's
just been
like
like an
okay, it's a little give.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's not going to just rip it?
Yeah.
Because I don't think I had ever seen something like that. And I was just confused.
Maybe
But
maybe it's like an old timey style of jackets to have that.
If it's just a style, I don't like it.
pleats in your pants or something like that.
if it's just style, I don't like it. But if it's for a reason, like like you just said, to flex, he can stretch for things, then I'm all about that. Because I like to have my mobility. But what would you say that in watching this movie, obviously you like it, I like it, but is there a particular point in this movie where you were just like, yeah, this is it. Like, this is the fucking tits. Like, this movie
I think it's when he goes up to the farmers
when he gets his ass kicked.
When he gets his
he's
ass
like
kicked.
driving through the
So all right, so
and
let's
those
break it
cars
down.
drive slow, mind you. Like the way he's
Yeah.
shifting and stuff. I'm like somebody could walk and catch up to him.
Yeah. Especially like some guy on a horse, like he can track you down, especially trying to go through orange fields or whatever. But like once he's out there and like the mystery kind of starts to get more and more clues. Well, so let's break it. You want to break it down a little bit?
Break it down.
Okay, so Hollis works for the water company.
Correct.
They want to build a dam to make a new reservoir
To bring water to Los Angeles.
Correct.
Correct.
Right?
Because this takes place during a drought.
Right.
Okay.
Alleged drought. Right. He is like, I don't want to build it. This soil doesn't work.
The previous one
broke,
like collapsed or whatever. Okay, yeah.
So I guess people, I mean, we later find out it's Noah Cross, want to blackmail him or whatever, just so he can lose credibility. And I guess he finds out about it, so that's why he has him murdered. But the plan is to build that reservoir to be able to irrigate that valley. So in order to make money, they need to push those farmers that are in that own the land.
Yeah,
right
so
now.
they could buy it cheap.
So they can buy that land cheap.
That's right.
Now they own the land. Now they're going to secretly irrigate that whole valley, incorporate it into Los Angeles, the city. But now they own all this land that's even more valuable because it'll be more valuable once it has more water there.
Cross is already a millionaire.
Already rich.
Why do you need more? And what was it he asked them? Like, why do you need more? He's like
The
why not?
future, Mr. Gibbs.
Yeah. Who cares? It's money. And I kind of get that mentality. Like, I feel like when you're wealthy like that, you just want more. You just want more. You want to be more and more and more wealthy.
You want to go to space.
Sure. You want to spend $23 million just to fucking get in a seat next to Bezos. But, I mean, I would like to think that if I became in wealth, that I would be generous with it.
You would not.
I wouldn't. Well, I think, no, so I don't think that wouldn't be generous, because I think if ever we went out to dinner and I'm obviously worth millions, you have your job, would you expect me to just pay?
No, but
You don't want me to drop my metal Amex everywhere I go?
Clank.
Yeah. Ding, 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 ding. Because I would. Because, like, if friends ever needed money and stuff like that, I mean, I don't... Because I didn't come from money.
I think it's like the corrupting power.
Yeah.
That
I mean, I would like
everywhere.
getting out of crimes and stuff like that. We're just throwing a couple million at something. Like, oh yeah, that kid I ran over, didn't happen. You got it, Mr. A. And I don't know again why they're stuck.
Well, it's funny. So I think Robert Town was kind of, I forgot to write him down, but he was kind of inspired by like this book. Oh man, did I write that down? This book or some story that he read, based on the water wars back in. So this takes place in 1937. Those actually occurred in like 1907. But it's based on. It's a little history lesson here.
Sure.
Right? So we have.
Let everybody.
It's
know
funny.
That
Well,
Mike
you can see
does his research.
that it mimics the movie a lot. So tell me when this stuff makes sense. Okay. So we have Frederick Eaton and William Mulholland. Okay. And they both work for the private LA water company.
Okay.
This
is my 7 leaves, if you guys can hear it. This is an ASMR right now.
That's fucking good. Right. So private water company, like Gittes finds out about like, oh, they used to own the water company, and then right.
And then what was it? So again, so he used to own it with Cross, but then he is like, no, the water's for the people,
right.
And so that's why he made Cross wealthier by selling it to the city,
while turning it over
to the city, right. So that way more people can have the benefit.
So 1886, Eaton's the city engineer, Mulholland's superintendent of the water company, right?
Okay.
1898, Eaton becomes mayor of LA, and then converts the water company to city control. Wow, happens in the movie, right? Belongs to the people, right?
Exactly.
Right. So they want to make LA.
Well, you live and die in LA.
Everyone's coming to LA. The only thing holding us back.
Lakers, Clippers, unfortunately. Lakers. Then you get your Rams, you got your Chargers, then you get your Jaeger.
It's about 50 years before this team, and they're all the way in Minneapolis. But someday they're
going
to come
lakes, here. Yeah, we got to plan ahead for those
guys.
Wait,
what year was basketball invented? Like 1890 or something like that?
If I was a good basketball fan and knowing when Naismith made this, I would say...
I think they used to shoot
it's in the 30s.
Orange baskets, right?
They were baskets, yes. That's what they're called.
Actually, baskets.
They're shooting baskets, or shoot hoops. But as you talk more about the water, I'll look that up.
Right. Okay. Okay, so they want to make LA bigger, right? But you have all these people there. If you don't have any water, how are you supposed to grow a big city, right?
Sure.
So Owens Valley, it's on the east side of the, Sierra Nevadas, Kings Canyon, Sequoia, Yosemite, all that shit right there.
Correct.
That side of the mountain, just tons of runoff, water galore, right?
Where else is it supposed to go?
Where else are you supposed to get
Yeah.
it? They couldn't get water from the Colorado River. I think they couldn't get rights to it, right? So it's funny. I was reading up some stuff on this, and I just love this quote that someone made about how they came about, getting the rights to the water. They used chicanery, subterfuge, and a strategy of lies.
What the fuck does that even mean?
Well, they needed to get the water to LA, right? So they had to buy out the land from the Owens Valley, it's a couple hundred miles away, and bring it to Los Angeles. So they had to build the aqueduct, but they had to, go to Washington to get the rights because they need to go through federal lands. They need the rights to go through this land. They need to buy this land, undersell these farmers that are there, any way they can. They need to get the rights to that land to bring that water to Los Angeles.
Shiesty motherfuckers is what's going on.
You can see how much it looks like.
Well, the good thing is...
So anyway, I'm so sorry. So in 1907 to 1913, they built the aqueduct. They start bringing the water to California. But of course, using all that water, bringing it to California, what happens to the Owens Valley? Fucking dry as a bone now. The fucking Owens Lake dries up by like 1924. And the farmers would like rebel and they'd like blow up sections of the aqueduct because their entire livelihood. So, it's legit wars. But, eventually LA
They're all
out.
slaughtered.
Yeah, they're slaughtered.
Murdered. Yeah, no, I got it. And the
powerful guys win, of course. And it's funny when Jake and Noah are talking and they're having he's confronting him like, hey, I know you killed him, stuff like that.
Which was a bad idea of how he did that.
Yeah, like where are the cops?
Yeah,
the cops
you
there.
told me this too when I was watching it, but I'm thinking,
what's he gonna do?
What was his plan on
you
this?
got me, you got me. Take me in. I know you're not a cop.
Yeah.
But...
And then hold on a second. I'm sorry. I just got this bigger, much larger with a gun bodyguard right over here. Yeah, there he is. Yeah. Okay. Give me that fucking. Exactly. Give me those glasses.
But it's funny. He says that. He's like, yeah, why have these, reservoirs, just on top of the, where all this evaporation is going to have it seep down into like the bedrock. So it's like this water just sitting underground in the aquifer. So you don't lose as much, through evaporation, which is what Noah says. That's exactly what they did in 1905 or whatever. They wanted to fill up like the San Fernando Valley, fill up that aquifer, like the underground, the water table, just so it's underground. So you can't lose, from the direct sun hitting, you lose that bunch of water. And they did the same thing. They annexed part of the valley into Los Angeles. I'm like, okay, of course this is going to feed Los Angeles. Now it's part of the city. So of course everyone's going to be cool with it.
And I don't think I've talked about underground aquifers since
Geology.
middle school. Maybe like I know they're there underneath us here in California, but like I don't think I've said that word in well over 20 years. And I might say
actually, it's kind of funny. We're doing this
during a drought. During a severe drought of California. Have you seen the 2 years ago pictures to now?
It's a fucking bummer.
It's disgusting. No, it's not disgusting. I'm sorry. It's just it sucks.
It's scary.
But I want to say a big shout out to Miss Morrissey for teaching me some sick shit in science in 7th grade and stuff. I believe you're still there at my old middle school, which I don't want to name drop.
Do you like the topographic maps too, where you have to put the elevations and
shit
like that? Hell
yeah. She was one of the few teachers that actually supported my art and being creative and stuff like that. Many teachers were like, stop drawing and you should draw cartoons. Well, she was always like, no, keep drawing, get better in this because you're obviously not good at it, so you need to get better at it. And she wasn't like that, but she was very supportive of me. So Miss Morrissey, if you're ever listening to this, which I doubt, but thank you for supporting me. You're one of the few teachers that ever really pushed me to keep being creative.
Just a little research here. She died.
Oh, she did?
Yeah. Not of old age. She got hit by 2 cars.
2 cars.
Hit once, flipped to the air, hit it again.
Oh, okay. I would have flipped to the other side of the street. Yeah. So she got hit going both ways. Yeah. I hope not.
Well, that's all right. She got Meet Joe Blacked. She got hit opposite car.
There was something else that made a joke of that too. I feel like it was like a Korean movie. Doesn't matter. But I know she's still alive. Actually, I don't know that for a fact, but I'm certain she's still alive. There's no way. She can't even be that old. And I believe she's still at my old middle school teaching. So, I mean, she's hopefully has tenure by now, some kind of clout. But oh fuck, dude, there was a time that I was there and a stupid kid, being me and a fucking little rebel, rambunctious little fucker, that I'm almost certain I got our janitor fired. And
You're a terrible person.
I am. I didn't mean
I don't want to
to.
hear it.
I didn't mean to, but I'm almost certain.
You 100% did.
No, I did not.
Hey guys, you're pretty.
What is?
Skateboards.
I was into skateboarding back then too, and I still am. I still watch videos on Thrasher every day, like because they'll come out on YouTube, and I just wish that a lot of my friends still skate, or at least they're local that we could still skate. Because even though obviously I'm getting old and my knees aren't the same, but to heart I'm still a skater. Still dressed like it, very immature.
Skater boy.
Just like a skater boy. I'll
with
see
the
you
eight.
later, boy.
Yeah.
But yeah,
B-O-I.
SK8 BOI, like a fuck boy too.
Oh yeah.
But I truly miss skateboarding. Like my friend Vlad, Vlad. He still skates a lot.
fancy.
Well, Vlad, however you want to say it. He still skates a lot, and I'll see his like stuff on Instagram and shit. It just makes me, Vlad, live closer, please. You honestly don't even live that far away. You're like fucking 20 minutes away. But like, I hate driving. Anyway, so back to the movie.
Anyway, so you can see how much it like mirrors real life.
Yeah.
Actually, I was reading in somewhere it said, I don't even know what I was looking at, but it said like
Porno?
that they would do runoffs, let water just flow into the ocean, and it's like, oh yeah, we're having a drought right now, because they're like pretend droughts just to force the hand or public opinion on like, oh yeah, we need to build this because we need the water. So
Yeah.
and all the while, all these rich dudes get like insider information with all their buddies, like who are in the commission.
Yeah.
So like, oh yeah, let's buy this land because they know it's going to be valuable, and these many years.
Insider
later.
trading, essentially. Yeah.
Which exactly,
They're just
it's
Martha
the
Stewarting
same thing in the
everything.
movie, like the exact same.
Yeah.
Same thing.
When you have power, you can just do things. Look
In
at
America, first you get the water, then you get the women,
power.
then you get the
Oh,
power, then the
women.
women. Oh, the women's
The
last, yeah.
choker. You gotta get the choker. There was a part in this movie, I don't remember who said it, but it was, I didn't get right the whole line, but it was wind from a duck's ass.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a good line. Again, there's many lines in this. Even when Jack said, shut the fuck up. Because when he was on the phone, he was talking to his colleagues in the office, and he answered the phone, and then the fake Miss Mulray called, and he just covers the mic, and he's like, shut the fuck up. Like, in his house. I did it. That was me acting it out. So she's like, oh, I'm the person that portrayed to be, and he's, shut the fuck up. And to his guy, but the way he said it made me laugh so because it was like stern.
It's funny.
Just quick.
Yeah, and he actually says and you're right. And when you're right, you're right. And you're right. You know what? You're right.
I like words. I really don't have much more about this movie. Just the fact that I really enjoyed it, but it had still also a lot of wit to it.
Right.
Like,
I mean, I think
quick.
my favorite part, just John Huston. Like,
really?
so skeevy.
Yeah. Perfect skis.
So, I mean, he's evil for like just the greediness.
But he's barely in the movie if you really think about it. Like maybe 8 minutes.
Yeah, but you don't
10
need,
minutes.
if you're a good villain, you
No,
don't
I
need to be
understand.
in it
I
a lot.
understand. I get it. I'm just saying he's not even in it a lot, but yet kind of stole the show in essence.
Like, we didn't even mention, like, there's almost like 2 scandals going on at one time in the movie. There's the water scandal, right? And then there's the Hollis's mistress, who is actually.
I mean, yeah, you put that in quotes, but really, we could talk about that. I might as well just talk about it.
No, I'm saying, like,
Okay.
they think it's Hollis's mistress, but it's actually Faye Dunaway's daughter. Her daughter that she had with her dad because he assaulted her when she was 15 years old.
Although that part too. So when Giddis,
Say assault. He fucking raped her.
yeah, he
Let's
raped.
just say.
When Giddis was asking her like, "Did he rape you?" But then she shook her head, and then I was like, "Well, was she just like saying no, or was she like just kind of going, the shit's ran through her head?"
I don't know. He just slapped her like 9 times. Like,
Yeah.
give her a second to think.
And
about
then when
things.
she did that, she's like, "She's my daughter. Tsh. She's my sister." Tsh. I know movies have made fun of that, and then I don't. Again, for some reason, I didn't remember this part, and so I was like, "Hey, I've seen stuff like this in other movies. I like it." But yeah, that's fucked up. Like it is the daughter and sister. But you would think that if it's the dad's baby, that kid's got to have problems, right?
Well, she might not know.
Well, no, I mean in a sense, not like that, but just I thought there would be like,
Oh, like birth defects.
yeah.
Well, I don't think it happens every time. There's just a higher likelihood of birth defects.
Oh,
If it's
really?
multiple generations. Oh, so you're saying there's a free pass the first time? Sick
So
fuck.
it doesn't always happen. Okay, I see what you're saying there, Mike. Okay, I see. I feel you.
So you can marry our attractive cousins.
Yeah, it's my second cousin, so it's okay. Yeah, that part, finding that out, that was quite the...
Well, because I mean, from that point, he goes from greedy villain to monster.
Yeah.
Like even like the stuff he says to Jack when when he finally confronts him at the end, he's like,
Yeah.
like I can't, man can't be blamed for his worst or whatever the hell he says.
Yeah. And even at the end of the movie, when he's taking the daughter, like, he got away with it. If this was real life, he got away with
I
it.
mean, that's kind of the point of the movie,
Right.
Like that's like the metaphor of Chinatown. Like you never really know what's going on. Like everything's there's so much miscommunication going on. You might be thinking you're helping the right people when in actuality you think you're helping the good guys, but you're technically helping the bad guys at the same time.
So are they saying this only happens like that in Chinatown?
What? Yeah, I mean, that was the issue the whole time because there was, I'm assuming the language barrier. Like you just never knew who you were helping or who you weren't helping or who it would affect.
Yeah, I guess. And yeah, Houston comes out just as, like I said, you said, a monster. Because not only from what he did to her, but also what he's done to her husband, and also just to get more money, in essence. But again, he's already this super wealthy dude, wouldn't have to work ever, and next day, his daughter would never have to work a day in her life, like nobody. Like, he could just, but I'm sure he's probably cheap as fuck when he goes to restaurants. He
doesn't tip.
Yeah, doesn't tip, and if he does, leaves like a $5 when it's like a $600 bill or something like that. But, and do you think for here in America that we should do what like Europe does in other countries where it's like tipping is kind of seen as like a, not necessarily offensive, but just you don't do it. So they should just, they should just make the regular prices on the stuff just a little bit higher to compensate.
Well, I mean, I
stuff.
think the point is like we should compensate your workers with
Absolutely.
a livable wage.
Right. Absolutely.
You don't require us to.
Minimum wage in every state is not a livable wage.
We're subsidizing their
Right.
income essentially.
But like what in California, the minimum wage is going to be $15 by next year, I believe. That's still not a livable wage. Like even if you're working full time with 10 hours overtime each pay period, you're still not making enough money to live on your own. You got to have roommates, or you got to have a significant other or something. Like, what the fuck? But if our wages would have went up as inflation and all that shit went up, we'd be fine. Because I think the minimum wage in California would have been in the 20s already to kind of match what that is. But even then, even if you're making in the 20s, you're still like barely getting by.
It's still hard. I can still imagine it being hard.
Yeah. But so this movie, I'm just gonna go on a limb before you say what you're. Okay, what are you gonna say?
No, go ahead. Okay. I mean, I have a lot to say. Go ahead.
You tell me. I think I'd go on a limb here and assuming that you like this movie.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I also enjoyed this movie for many reasons. Camera work, because I mean, I'm not saying that they were doing revolutionary things when this came out, because I'm sure what they did, other people were doing. But I liked a lot of that. I liked a lot of the shots that Polanski and the DP were doing. The acting was great. The dialogue and everything was pretty sharp. Although to go to the stuff about being sharp and everything real quick, when Gittes goes to that lady's house near the end of the movie and there's a dead body in there, if I would have opened that back door and someone's like, "Hey," like that would
have freaked me the fuck
I would
out.
have, like, if I had a gun, like, "Ah!" and just shot.
So is it implied that the cops killed her too? I mean, they're in there, or they just happened to be there to investigate as well?
I think that they were investigating. They were there, and so
I
they
mean,
were trying
by
to
the
get,
end of the movie, they're at least
yeah.
in on it a
He keeps
bit,
telling Jake
'cause
to
they
shut
let-
up,
yeah.
like, Jake,
Do
we're
me a
gonna-
favor, get out of
yeah,
here.
yeah. I think
Houston owns I mean, she says it. Houston owns the cops.
Yeah, I think that woman was dead. They got there, and then since it had Gittes' number there, that's why they called him to see if he would do something they can catch him. But obviously,
So are they terrible cops, or are they just crooked cops?
I would say they're just not good at their job. Because that guy he called Lou, which oddly enough, he was lieutenant, but his name was also Lou. I was like, well, that's kind of poor writing. But he had just became lieutenant. So he's not trying to ruffle any feathers and stuff. So why ruffle the feathers of the richest guy in Los Angeles at that time? So I would say they probably were corrupt. Because you didn't watch Perry Mason, did you? The new Perry Mason?
No.
It's fucking good. It's really good.
The guy from The Americans, right?
Yeah. And, oh man, if only Kerry Russell's in this.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck. So aren't they really together though?
I think so.
Yeah. So now I just want to watch Mission Impossible 3. Although she was barely in it, but she was in it enough that I was like, she did great.
She's in it?
She's
I
in,
thought it
in the
was-
first like 10 minutes, and then she dead.
Oh.
Remember she had the thing implanted in her head, and then it goes off and just gives her like a brain aneurysm, and she's
Okay.
She dies, yeah, because he was just about
But
to.
he's
give her
also
the shot.
married to like, what's her name? Something Moynihan, right?
Michelle Moynihan.
Michelle Moynihan, right?
I don't think so. And I love.
She's not
Oh,
in
in
3?
Mission Impossible. Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. Not in. In the third one, yes. By that time, he is married to her. I fucking love Michelle Moynihan. I think all the time too. Whenever I read, who wrote Gone Baby Gone? No, not Shane. Fuck. Dennis Lehane. Look at that. We did Nux because we usually high five when he gets say something
too loud.
So I'm a big fan of Dennis Lehane, and whenever I read any of the Patrick Mackenzie stories, I always just imagine Ben and Michelle, just because I read Gone Baby Gone before I saw Gone Baby Gone, but now I just always met, just like in I Am Legend. I read I Am Legend before Will Smith was in the movie, but now I just see him, even though in the book it was a white guy and he was kind of racist in the book, but that book ending far superior than either of the alternate movie versions. Because like, did you read the short story?
I mean, I want to say it turns out he's the bad guy, or they see him as the bad guy.
They see him as the bad guy. So like the vampires, just like they do in the movies. Yeah, he is legend.
Gotcha.
The vampires get smarter, they evolve, and they hunt him. And so it's similar to how the movie is.
Does it take place in New York?
L.A.
Cool.
Yeah. And fun fact, I'm sure you knew this in I Am Legend, the movie. They had that movie poster that had the Batman Superman. That's what actually got the conversation going to have Batman versus Superman.
Oh, cool.
Because of that movie. So in the book though, yes, he is the legend. He's captured by the vampire people, and they're gonna essentially kind of put him in not necessarily a trial. They're just gonna hang him. They're gonna kill him in front of everybody. Like, we got him. And so that woman that he stumbles upon, actually, I guess you could say, saves him. She gives him like a pill, like a cyanide pill, to take in his cell. And so he can kill himself. So that way he's not like
paraded around.
Yeah. And so I believe he takes the pill right as like it's the final couple sentences of the book. And I was like, far better. Because, you can start hearing those vampires chanting like blah, blah, blah. And he's like, fuck that. Like, I ain't going out like some punk bitch. And
So, but I was like, oh, shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So they prop him up. Mm-hmm. Arms dangling. Like, is he all right? Oh, yeah. We're going to hang him now.
They're going to put like wood on
like,
his,
really,
for his legs.
His neck looks like his brother is flopping around. It's like, no, we're going to hang
they're
him.
carrying him. His legs aren't even moving. He's just dragging it through the dirt. No. He's
They just have like the arm through.
Yeah, he's like it's like the
stick through his arms.
Yeah, it's like in The Simpsons with Michael Jackson. Get up from the corner. And yeah, so I far believe that book was much better. But I think Chinatown, was this an original piece or was this based on? Okay.
Well, so I had, doing the research, Paramount wanted to pay Robert Towne like $150,000 something to adapt The Great Gatsby. It's like, wait, I'm not going to make a better fucking...
The Rubber Effort better than the Rubber Effort?
Well, no. I'm not going to make a better story than fucking F. Scott Fitzgerald. He's like, but I have this idea for this one. So he took a little less money, and this is his like original story.
Okay.
So it's supposed to be 3 stories about corruption in Los Angeles, Los Angeles coming into its own with like a different, exactly, with like different utilities or resources. So it's first one was
it's like fucking The Wire.
Each
one would be, so the first one's what, politics? No, the first one was gangs. Second one was
the docks.
Third one was
schools.
The fourth one was news.
Something like that.
Yeah. God, that show's so fucking good.
Yeah. But well, I mean, so this is supposed to be One Water. Was episode 1. They did make the sequel. I don't know if you read about that at all.
Was it called Koreatown?
K-Town.
K-Town. And then the last one is called
Little Saigon.
I was gonna say Little Saigon, but they're not gonna come to Orange County. I was gonna say like it's what's the street of
Little Armenia?
No. The guy's name. Pico Rivera. No, not Pico Rivera.
Martin Luther King?
No.
Cesar Chavez?
Cesar Chavez. Yeah. Cesar Chavez. Like, so the first one's Chinatown, then it's K-Town, and then it's Cesar Chavez Boulevard. Or I don't know. What's another part of LA? Fuck. Anyway, so they made a second one.
I want to say Robert Towne wrote that one too. I think it went through a bunch of iterations. People fell out, stuff like that. I think Jack Nicholson ended up directing it himself, and he stars in it. It's called The Two Jakes, but it's about oil.
And it was still the same character?
Yeah, he's J.J. Gittes.
What the fuck?
You've never heard of it? Okay,
no.
Yeah. And then I want to say the girl. Oh my god, I forgot her daughter's name. Marion? Oh, I forgot. Anyway, same girl plays her in Two Jakes. She makes an appearance.
What the fuck?
Well, it's another thing where he's still a private eye. He's following someone else. I think it's like an adultery, but it's some guy's named Jake.
A PI.
So that's why it's called The Two Jakes. Right?
Yeah.
But it flopped kind of commercially and then critically it flopped because there was supposed to be a third story. Let me see if you pick this up. So it's about Private Eye,
Okay.
kind of like a femme fatale kind of character, right?
Okay.
And it's set with obtaining land in order to build freeways.
Okay.
What movie does that remind you of?
Money to build freeways.
Cutting through a certain part of town to make a freeway. When you give up, just let me know.
This is a movie I should know. Is this recent?
You well, no,
Fuck.
but you'll definitely know 100%.
So I've seen it.
You've seen it.
You know, I just want to say that it's like 10 o'clock and I can't think right. It's actually 10:40. Holy shit. No, what is it?
Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Okay. That was about... You're absolutely right. They're going to go through Toontown.
To build a
Okay.
freeway.
Okay.
So
we got to review that movie. I actually really
I would
like
absolutely
that
love to
movie.
do that
Yeah.
one too. But that was supposed to be like the third story with Gittes as the detective at that point.
As they're going through Toontown?
Well, no, I mean it wasn't supposed to be about twos, but
well,
they
that's
kind
no
of took.
fun.
I think I want to say they kind of took that idea and they used that as because I mean if you think of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, like
It's a detective
lot
movie.
like
Yeah,
it feels a lot like Chinatown, like an homage to Chinatown.
And that movie, too, they had not only Looney Tunes, but they also had other characters that you would normally see. You saw Warner Brothers characters
Disney.
with, like, Disney.
Disney,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that's the only time you've ever really seen them together. And at that time, Disney had to have been alive.
Walt Disney
Uh-huh.
in 1988 or whatever.
I feel like it. He wasn't so anti-Semitic
I don't
back
know.
then yet. So you like this movie?
Yeah.
I like this movie.
Well, it's funny. Like every time I watch this movie, I'm like, man, like I just like seeing old timey Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's because we're we're not from LA, but we're from the greater Southern.
You're at like
California
LA
area.
County.
Right.
I'm Orange County, but I did. You know.
Well, it's like one thing when you see there's a ton of movies set in New York, but I don't have any. Like I've never even been to New York, so I don't have any. Like oh, I don't know this street.
Aren't
I know
you
this
gonna go
street.
there to see Rage?
Yeah, but I'm saying I've just never been there. So I don't have any like
Thanks
an
for that.
attachment to New
Right.
York. But when I see these alley movies, I'm like, I kind of feel like doing one of those like old timey like LA tours, and, like just see like the cool spots and stuff like that. 'Cause,
I did when I went to Seattle many years ago, that I went on the Seattle Underground tour, and it was like what it was like. It wasn't a long tour, but it was pretty cool. Like you could look up through the sidewalk and see people walking by and stuff, and it was nice. I think I have a picture of that too. I was wearing a beanie and a pea coat. That was when I used to be much skinnier. Not as good looking, of course. Now I'm like, the lines in my head and stuff like that just make me more.
you're filled out, mostly in the groin.
Yeah, in my loin area, it's really tight all the time. Like I can't even fit in pants anymore. Like it's just such a large bulge. It's really like a burden, honestly. Like there's just too much going on. So that's why I need to start
Walking
wearing.
around like you're riding a horse all day. Just
Yeah,
waddling.
like I'm also wearing assless chaps too. It's just. Oof.
Well, I mean, it's just airflow. That's
Oh
what
yeah,
that's for.
I mean I don't want to have sweat going between my like crotch crease and all that stuff like that. So I like the movie. You like the movie. I'd recommend it. You'd recommend it. Can't speak highly enough, or can't speak more highly about this movie. There's not the only negative thing about this whole thing really is just Polanski. I would say.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that's really it. I mean, ultimately, like a lot of stuff they did camera-wise, a lot of stuff they did dialogue and screenplay wise, like it was just
Well,
all
I
around.
think it's like any movie. The more times you see it, like the more it makes sense. But like, I felt like this last
not
time I
Primer.
watched. Okay, yeah, that too.
Okay.
But like this last time I saw it, like all the pieces like fell into place just so much easier.
Right.
Like before I watched it, I felt like, oh, that's a good movie, but it's still kind of the story's a little confusing.
Sure.
But any movie I guess you watch a bunch of times, you'll start to catch up on little details. But this one's
Yeah.
like every little clue that Jake recognizes, you recognize at the same time because you're just there with him.
Well, I think too, like we've still seen this before, so
Yeah.
we kind of know how it ends. Like the main thing that I always knew about this movie was the ending.
Right.
Which
I believe Polanski wrote the ending.
fuck that guy.
Because I want to say in Town's original ending, she kills
The dad.
Noah, and then she goes to jail or whatever, stuff like that. So not the happiest ending, but at least, the bad guy gets
yeah,
it.
because he gets shot in the arm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this one, Polanski's like, nope. Like he wanted like a more cynical, darker.
Yeah, I think I told you this. I do like endings where the good guys don't win.
Yeah.
It sucks, but I like it. Hereditary.
Interesting, yeah.
Like, kind of bleak. And
Yeah.
it's, you know,
We'll
but
talk about it.
yeah. So so we're both in agreement on this movie. It's not often that
You have to see it. Like it's
Chinatown is
amazing.
a must see. If you don't see it, well, you're a piece of shit. And
You don't see it, you're just as bad as Roman Polanski.
yeah, you fucking gross piece of shit. Anyway, well, unless there's anything else you want to add about Chinatown, I think that Mike and I are good for this episode. Yep, he gave me a thumbs up, so that's very good to do in a podcast.
Oh, you can hear. Here you go.
You
heard that one?
So the next episode of Spectacular, we are going to watch Hereditary, which Hereditary is available on Hulu. I'm pretty sure it's Hulu.
Okay, whatever.
Okay, well, you're shrugging. So I'll put it in the context of this episode, like when I put it out. So I believe Hereditary is on Hulu. It is a horror movie. There is some grotesque imagery in this movie. So if you're going to watch it, be prepared.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it is a great movie.
Oh, it's so good.
So thank you again for listening. And Mike, take us away.
Murder Spectacular. Oh, that's the music. Oh, I forgot to mention his name. Hold on, let's get one.
Okay, we're back. We're not just done yet.
Jerry Goldsmith made the whole score in 10 days.
That's it?
Yeah.
I would have done it in 4. You can fucking lick my ass.
Spectacular.
Okay. Wait. All right, Mike, take it away.
Spectacular. That's it.
No, give me one more.